Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Ashland Zoning Board of Appeals, meeting at the Ashland Town Hall in the second floor Select Board Hearing Room. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live by WACA-TV and live streamed on Facebook. Remote participation is available using the Zoom video conferencing platform for convenience only. Any disruption with the video conferencing platform will result in the platform being shut down. However, the meeting will continue, and meetings will continue to be broadcast on WACA-TV and live streamed on Facebook. To participate remotely from a computer, there is a link attached to the posted agenda, and also there is a telephone number which you can dial in and access the meeting that way. First order of business will be to call the meeting to order and take a roll call. John Trefethen, am present.
Hi, Brian Forrestall, I'm present.
Hi, Ryan Sullivan, I'm present via Zoom.
Hi, Stuart Siegel, I'm present by Zoom also.
Excellent. All board members are present. And also with us, as usual, is our Director of Planning and Commercial Development, Jasmine Farinacci. And tonight we also have with us our Town Council, Brian Winner. Item number 2 on the agenda is continued deliberations on the 10-60 Main Street project. It's a Chapter 40B comprehensive permit request. The hearing in this matter opened on January 7th, 2025. And most recently, we deliberated on December 9th and again on December 23rd, and the matter is on for deliberation again this evening. Town Council has prepared a draft decision and with conditions and a waiver list, which has been distributed to board members. The most recent one being distributed this morning. And I will now turn it over to Town Council, Attorney Winner, to sort of guide us with what changes have been made since we last went over, reviewed things on December 23rd, and where we stand now.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you noted, we had 2 nights of deliberations, and the most recent one being just before the holidays on the 23rd. The applicant wasn't present, but we had a quorum of the board, and we went through this decision thoroughly. The findings, jurisdictional findings, the factual findings as to the project, the conditions and the waivers list. We went through all that and answered questions from the board and talked about that fairly extensively. So what I'm just going to highlight this evening is what's transpired since. And so if you begin, I don't know, it's a couple pages in, but it's condition 11. I'm not going to spend any time on sort of the typographical changes, but you'll note a couple of red lines. The vast majority of these I either just accepted, and so they're no longer red lines, and they're somewhat invisible to you just because they were typos or, you know, just clarifications that were just sort of obvious improvements. There were a few others that I just left in here because the applicant and I had a scheduled call, and I just wanted to review some of these things with the applicant's representative, Mr. Angler. We did that yesterday, and so none of these sort of, I'll call them just sort of clerical or wordsmithing issues are in dispute. They've all been agreed to now, and so there's a few. Number 11 is where the first one is. A couple more pages down on in the next section. And if you go to section 4, decision and conditions, if you look at, let's see, number 8, you know, there's just a couple wording changes there. And a lot of this is to clarify the process, you know, just so that there's no confusion on the back end as to who does what and how they're supposed to do it and what it means. So just some clarifications there. If you turn the page on condition number 10, there's another set of red lines in there. Again, clarifications, just improvements. There's a few more on the next page. Again, I've reviewed these with Mr. Angler, and at least between the two of us, we were fine with these. This is the first time the board has looked at these changes, so when I wrap up and turn it back to you, Mr. Chairman, please let me know if anybody has any questions on these. 25, paragraph 25, on the next page, a few red lines on that one. And then now getting to the most sort of important part. There are a couple highlighted paragraphs, 6 I believe, starting on condition 30. So these have been updated. So these are conditions that were requested and were discussed and negotiated with the applicant. And I'm just going to run down these very briefly for the benefit of the board and for the benefit of the public. Some of these are new and some of these are modified. So number 30 is a requirement concerning a pre-construction survey if there's blasting of the Mill Street Dam to assure that no damage occurs as a result of construction. And if damage occurs after a post-construction survey is undertaken, the applicant's required to pay for the cost to repair. So that's number 30. Number 31 is a very similar condition, but it concerns the Ocean House barn structures. Same requirement, no damage occurs, and that a pre and post blasting survey be conducted with respect to that. Number 32 is financial support to the town so that the town can undertake a certain amount of peer review related to the activity and use limitation and RAM plan. So the town has a certain amount of funding there to do that. That's, as we've discussed on several evenings during the public hearing process, you know, that's an environmental process that takes place outside of zoning, so that's really above and beyond to be able to fund some peer review and some logistical support for the town in that regard. Number 33 is a requirement to use best efforts to reuse salvaged and original mill granite from any demolition occurring on the site, and employ those for final site improvements, i.e. public plaza areas, retaining walls, exterior hardscape, wayfinding features, etc. Number 34 is a new condition, and the applicant has agreed to pay the town $50,000 upon the issuance of a building permit and pay an additional $25,000 upon the issuance of an occupancy permit to the town for municipal parking and to improve public safety access, which may include improvement of the Tilton Ave Police Station parking lot. So that's a new condition that we've added. And number 35, the last highlighted condition there, the applicant has agreed to use best efforts to execute a lease agreement and occupy the ground floor restaurant space or spaces, there's a typo there, as soon as is practicable and ideally prior to 50% of the residential occupancy. And obviously the intent there is so that the town can get the benefit of the bargain. So we get the commercial space occupied, and so that can be an amenity as the project ramps up, hopefully sooner rather than later. Yes? Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Engler?
For the record, Jeff Engler, representing the Ashland. Just seeing this brought. Sorry. For the record, Jeff Engler, representing SLV Ashland. Would council and the board have an issue changing ground floor to commercial space? Just because I'm not positive it'll be a restaurant. It could be a gym, it could be pickleball, it could be some other commercial space. We're going to make best efforts to lease the space, but if a restaurant doesn't want to lease it, I would imagine the town would be inclined to have, you know, a public commercial user. So I think I mean, it may end up being a restaurant, but I just don't want to be bound to being a restaurant.
Any objections to that from the board?
Any objection?
I don't have an objection to that.
Nor do I. Our third voting member on this matter is Ryan Sullivan. Ryan, do you have any objection?
I mean, I hope obviously the best efforts land on that, but no, no objection.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's condition 35, and that's the last new condition or modified condition. I think if you go through the rest of the conditions, we're talking about the traffic, parking, security, meaning construction security, not police security, construction practice standards. All of these are the same as you reviewed them at your last meeting. On the final page of the decision, I just updated the attachment so that the exhibits are in the correct order and have the correct references. which leaves you with the waivers matrix. The waivers matrix, I believe just has some very small changes on it, but I think these are changes that you had already seen at your last meeting. They're still highlighted, but I think that's just a holdover from your last meeting. I don't think any of this was amended. So these are all the same waivers, and the language is the same as has been discussed. Including, as we reviewed as well, Addendum 1, and Addendum 2, and Addendum 3. So those are the updates, Mr. Chairman and the board. And if, I don't know if this was part of your question, but I'll offer. The next step would be obviously to take any questions. The public hearing's closed. But if the board has any questions on any of this language, any of the changes, anything with respect to the decision of the waivers, now is the time. And we'll do our best to answer those. And obviously, this is a draft decision until you voted it and signed it. Nothing is written in stone here. So please feel free to ask anything and everything that you might have on your mind at this point.
That was going to be the next thing that I led to, was to ask if any of us had any questions.
Okay,
I don't
perfect.
have any questions. I know you and I have talked offline about it, so any questions I had were answered in that discussion. Brian, do you have any questions for either the
Don't have any questions.
decision or the list of waivers?
Nope, I'm fine with both.
And Ryan, how about you?
No questions beyond those asked at the last meeting, so I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. That being said, there being no questions from members of the board, next step is to vote.
If the board is ready, the next step in the process is to take a vote. You'll recall, because we recently just voted 61 Waverly, my recommendation would be the same, which is to have a motion that calls for the board to adopt as the decision of this board the draft decision prepared by council and discussed this evening, inclusive of the findings and the decision and the condition and the waivers matrix.
And can we incorporate that, your statement, into a motion?
If you wish to, and if it's clear on the record.
Somebody wish to do that?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Seconded.
I, John Trefethan, vote in favor.
Hi, Brian Forrest, I'll vote in favor.
I, Ryan Sullivan, vote in favor.
Excellent, then the matter passes.
The matter passes. It takes a majority vote to pass. That was obviously unanimous. The next step in the process falls back on your staff, myself and Jasmine, Town Hall, to attach the exhibits, put it all together in final form, remove the draft watermark, make the one change that was discussed tonight from restaurant space to commercial space, and have a final product for you to sign, and then it gets filed with the town clerk and distributed. And that begins, of course, the appeal period after 20 days. We'll see.
Okay. Excellent, and that concludes the 10-60 Main Street, Ashland, 40B comprehensive permit request in slightly more than 1 year. Good luck, Mr. Engler.
Thank you. I'd like to offer my sincere thanks to the board. I know it's been a long process, a lot of public hearings. I know your salaries to serve on the board are enormous. So, and with my sincerest gratitude, I appreciate it. I'm excited about this project. I think it's going to be great for the town of Ashland. I know it's not perfect. I know people feel that, but we've enjoyed working with you, and we look forward to having a long relationship. It's a long process from here. This is kind of only a milestone, and we have a lot of work to do, but we look forward to continuing our relationship with you all, with the building department, engineering, and all the people that will be involved moving forward. So thank you very much. I appreciate everything.
And I'm sure the Conservation Commission looks forward to seeing you.
Thanks.
Okay, next item, excuse me, on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. We have the minutes for 3 meetings to review. The first item, the first agenda were minutes for the December 9th, 2025 meeting. Those were sent out by the planning office last week for review. Jasmine, did we receive any comments or proposed changes?
I did not receive any.
Okay, someone wish to make a motion to approve the December 9th, 2025 minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Aye, John Trefethan, vote in favor.
I, Brian Forrestall, vote in favor.
I, Ryan Sullivan, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, also vote in favor.
Excellent. Moving on, the next item would be minutes for the meeting of December 22nd, 2025. Those also were submitted last week for review. Jasmine, did you receive any comments?
I did not.
Okay, someone wish to make a motion to approve the December 22nd, 2025 minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Aye, John Trefethan, vote in favor.
I, Brian Forrestall, vote in favor.
I, Ryan Sullivan, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
Thank you. And the final minutes that we have were sent for the December 23rd, 2025 meeting. Question once again, Jasmine, did we receive any comments or changes?
I did not.
Okay, someone wish to make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 23rd, 2025 meeting as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Aye, John Trefethan, vote in favor.
I, Brian Forrestall, vote in favor.
I, Ryan Sullivan, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
Thank you all. We were a smooth operating machine there, I think. Excellent. Okay, moving on to next item, which is staff updates and administrative matters. Jasmine, anything in particular to report?
Nothing to report, but just one question. Melissa had sent out materials via a Google Drive for this meeting. Was everybody able to access the materials okay for that? Did that work?
I was
okay?
able to access it. I know she sent out an email yesterday saying that she had been contacted by one member of the board
Right.
who was having difficulties trying to open it, so
We'll have to see if anybody
I'm
else had
assuming that got
difficulties.
resolved because
Yeah.
she sent it out the way we used to send things out. And what the problem was, I don't know, and it would be far beyond my area of expertise to suggest how to fix it. But my thought is, as long as all of the members of the board can access it, then it's fine to do it. But otherwise, we need to continue to do it the old-fashioned, not the old-fashioned way, but the way we used to do it, just to make sure that everybody can access it, because there's nothing worse than scrambling at the last minute and realizing you don't have all the documents that you were supposed to have.
Is that stone tablets or? No, no.
No, I don't know. Well, you know,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I was the one that had difficulty. I could not access
okay.
the drive, so I'll have to get some help in trying to have that happen. I was able to access the minutes via the old method, and that's what I reviewed.
Okay. Well, again, I'm not sure. Well, I think you need to have a Google account, don't you, Jasmine, in order to be able to
We can
access
give
it?
you
But
access
if
through
we
your
can perhaps
email, but
hook Stu up with the IT department to figure out how we can
absolutely,
access it, because if not, we need to do it the way we've always done it.
absolutely, certainly will. He should.
I'm sorry?
He should.
Yeah. Oh, he does have one, yes.
Just have to be logged into it when he tries to access.
Okay. Well, you know what? Look, work with
we'll
Jasmine,
figure
if you could work with Stu and figure out
Absolutely.
what the difficulty was and how to solve that problem, that would be terrific.
Of course. That was it. That was all I had.
Excellent. We do have one other item on the agenda this evening, and that's to meet with Alex Moronovich, who filled out a talent bank form expressing some interest in becoming an associate member of the ZBA, and as the select board desires, we've invited him to a meeting, and he observed the earlier portion of the meeting, and he's here now waiting for his big opportunity to step up to the microphone and ask us any questions. We haven't scared them away yet, apparently, which is a good sign. And Alex, welcome.
Thank you.
I know you know what the drill is. We talked a little bit about before the meeting and what our plan is and what we understand the select board wants us to do. And we have 2 members of the select board present tonight, so if I say something that's wrong, please feel free to step in and correct me. But they like to have the potential member observe a couple of meetings just to make sure that they're comfortable with the fit it would be, give you an opportunity to ask any questions you might have about what we do or what your role might be on the committee. And they usually like 2 meetings to be attended. And then at the second meeting, the board members will discuss whether or not to make a recommendation to the select board. And they are the appointing authority, so if we get to the point where a recommendation is made, the select board will be in further touch with you about scheduling a meeting with them. That's my understanding how it works, at least. And that, all that being said, we meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. At the present time, our meetings are hybrid, so that we meet both in person, obviously, but also several of our members meet via the Zoom option. And that basically is where we are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, your background, and what your interest in joining the CBA is.
Sure. Yeah, I feel a little bit ambushed because I didn't expect to speak in front of a microphone, but that's fine. Yeah, my name is Alex Mironovas. I'm an engineer. I'm a professional engineer. I work for architectural engineering company or firm. I've been in industry for 30 years now. So what else? Yeah, I'm a lead group, so I have a few engineers reporting to me. Other than that, I've been an Ashland resident for over 20 years, since 2002. Yeah, never participated in any community services like this. So I think, my kids just recently grown, not recently, but all of a sudden, I should say, I have 3 kids, two of them already on their own, and I have a 15-year-old daughter at home, still living with me and my wife, but she is very independent, so I mostly work from home, and I started to feel like I'm a little bit isolated, so I needed something to find, some purpose in life, I guess, and that's, I started to look around and figured this would be a good opportunity for me just to meet people and kind of contribute to community, contribute to the town I fell in love with. So spent, as I said, over 20 years. So I guess it's long enough for me to start thinking about actual something I could do and help and contribute.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're a 3-member board, and we can have 4 associate members. At the moment, we have 2 associate members, and there are 2 positions that are open to be filled. Okay. Brian, do you have any questions for Alex?
Alex answered all my questions. I was going to ask you what you do and how long you've been in town. So, yeah, thanks for stepping up.
Sure.
Excellent. And Stu, how about you? Any questions?
No additional questions. Happy to entertain your invitation to join us.
Thank you.
And Ryan, any questions?
No, just thank you for joining us. What kind of engineering are you in specifically? Did you say it was architectural?
I'm my specialty is automation, instrumentation, controls, automation. But I work for architectural and engineering company. We do EPCMV type of provide EPCMV type of services, which is architectural engineering, construction management, validation. So it's capital projects for mostly for pharmaceutical and biotech industry. So yeah, that's about
Well,
it.
thank you. Thanks for joining and for your interest. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And Alex, do you have any questions for us?
Sure. I mean, what would be my role and responsibilities for this?
Well, for instance, the deliberations we had earlier tonight on that 1060 Main Street project, Brian and I were voting members. We need three voting members, and Ryan, who was an associate member, stepped in to be the third voting member. One of our third full-time member has been on a leave of absence. He's in the military service, and he was assigned to duty overseas, and he's due back this year. So for each hearing, one of the associate members fills in as a voting member, and what we've been doing is rotating it so that all of the associate members have an opportunity to be a voting member on a decision when the time comes up. For all hearings, all associate members have an opportunity to ask questions, participate in the discussion. It's just when it comes to the voting, the state law requires that it be done by the three members of the committee of the association, unless for one reason or another, the third can't vote, and an associate member has to step in. But basically, you're going to be just like the rest of us, listening to the presentation and asking questions of the applicants. We deal primarily with special permit requests and variance requests under the Ashland zoning bylaws. 2025, we dealt primarily with Chapter 40B applications, and speaking for myself individually, hopefully we're not going to face that again in 2026 once we deal with the one that's still presently before us. But that's basically what your role would be.
Okay, thank you. And how familiar should I be with zoning regulations of Ashland?
Well, the planning department has a booklet that's prepared, which is given out to each of us, and once you've been appointed by the select board, Jasmine and Melissa will get that booklet to you, which basically has all the zoning bylaws in it, some other state statutes that we may have to deal with and whatnot. You're not expected to memorize the zoning bylaw. I mean, every time I get an application, I have to go to the bylaws and read them to see what they say, because, don't really remember from time to time what specifically the requirements are. So we go back, but it's all a collaborative process. Planning department is very good, Jasmine, and the assistant town planner, Melissa, very good about helping answering any questions you might have and things of that nature. And, as I said, we meet usually second and fourth Tuesday, but there are times, if we don't have any matters before us, we don't meet. In 2024, I think we went 6 months between meetings because there weren't any applications that had been filed that we had to deal with. So it's not always as busy as it's been for the last year.
Okay.
We didn't get paid, but.
I thought we got 100% pay increase. No? Oh, well. So that's it. But thank you for volunteering. It's we've had the 2 open positions for quite some time, and we were delighted to see that you had expressed an interest in joining us. So hopefully we can see you again on the 27th of the month when we will have a hearing, and I think it would be fair to say that there'll be significantly more action that night than there was tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to
Very good,
participate.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep. Nice meeting you.
Okay, no other staff updates?
Not tonight.
Okay, then the next item on the agenda is, and the final item on the agenda is adjournment. Does somebody wish to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
I, John Trefethan, vote in favor.
Hi, Brian Forrest, I'll vote in favor.
I, Ryan Sullivan, vote in favor.
I, Stuart Siegel, vote in favor.
Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned. WACA, thank you very much as well.